Good morning, folks. Good morning. Thank God for another beautiful day. Thank you, Lord, for another lovely day. What is Monday, the 26th of January, and we're moving forward on our scenes here. So we've got our scene here, our new scene that I just did, was finishing last week of Miguel, and I just wanted to show you the program that I'm using. This is Movavi video editor. And so what I have here is the scenes are all in here individually. What you want to do when you're making your film, you use the editing software to put together your film. And so what you might want to do is make a folder which you can put onto your desktop that you keep all of your scenes in. And even if you've done scenes that you're not going to use, it's a good idea to still put those scenes in the folder and have them ready. Also, you want to put your project in the folder as well. The editing program will give you a folder, and which is what we're looking at now, which has all your scenes in it. And as you bring each scene in, uh, where I'm waving my mouse here, this is where the scenes go. You'll drag them down from here into this column in the order that you want them in. You can add um, transitions, like for instance, if you want to show a transition into, like, say, like I just did a fade out here. Um, this little indication here is a fade out. So, like, if I play this, you'll see that that fades out, and then we show the next scene. So, Movavi has a setup wherein you can do all sorts of um, changes on your scenes. You can have transitions. You know, you can have titles that you add. You can do all sorts of things with Movavi. And most all editing softwares will have some type of setting in them that will allow you to do scene transitions. You might want to do wipes between your scenes. You might want to do cross dissolves between your scenes, and it'll do that. It'll give you options. And what I'll do sometimes, I haven't done this in these videos yet, but I'll show you how to use Movavi. Now I'm just going to play the video from the beginning here so you can see all the scenes that have been edited in. So here we go. And you can see up here in the top right corner, this is the video in its entirety, all of the scenes that I have done up to this point that are all together. I've edited them together to make this film. So each one of these are scenes that I did examples or demonstrations within the show to show you how I'm doing it. And then as I finish each scene, I cut it in. Um, and also there are scenes in here that I don't use or I haven't used it. Like for instance, here's a scene. Let's see. This was a scene of the kids as preschoolers. I've cut this scene so far, but it doesn't mean that I may not use it. I may decide that I want to use it in the future. When you're working on your film, it's really difficult to say sometimes. If you're working on it at yourself, um, of course you can go through and storyboard your entire film so that you know exactly what you want, shot to shot to shot. However, sometimes you may change your mind about what you want in your film, and so that's fine. And so I keep everything in a media bin, which has all of the scenes, and then if I make a decision that say maybe I want to bring a scene back or put it somewhere else or extend the film, I can do that. And so you keep that folder with all of your scenes in it, and then you can always come back and use it later. You can also use this technique when you're planning out and storyboarding ahead of time. You could storyboard your entire film and then cut your storyboard scenes together as well. I happen to be animating this kind of straight along because I had already done the story as a children's book that I had printed already. So I pretty much knew pretty much how I felt the story should go. Though since that time, I've decided that I wanted to animate this as a story, and so I just dove right in without reboarding anything. I'm realizing now that as I go, I may want to make some changes in the animation. And what I did in the book, I'm doing in the animation, but I'm also adding two things. So it's become a little bit, it's morphing. The story is morphing and getting better. My lyricist and writer, Alphonse Nobile, is doing a version of this. He's done a version which actually inspired me to make changes in the film that I'm doing. And so we're going to go back and forth as I make changes in the animation. Then I'll have him look at it, and if he's so inclined to augment what he's done to match what I'm doing, it's going to be a process. Though I suspect I'll probably do more visually to get it to work a certain way so that he's not having to make changes too much. I prefer to make the changes on my end and then give it to him so that he's able to be inspired from what I've done and then go back in the opposite direction. In making a film, a lot of times you are making changes throughout, though normally you would do all of your planning ahead of time in a storyboard fashion or in a script fashion prior to doing any animation. So this is a little bit more of an unorthodox way of working. I don't advise that you do it this way unless you have a fairly good idea what it is you want to do. Um, I would say that the less troublesome way of doing this is to have a script set in terms of how you want it to go, a storyboard set in terms of how you want it to go, and then work that way because it's a lot better, it's a lot faster, it's a lot more efficient. So, and I'm admitting that because I want you to understand the methods of working. But you'll find that artists, we all have sometimes we have different things going on and reasons why we make the choices that we do. So I just wanted to take a moment to explain that because I don't want anyone to get the idea that it's okay to just go willy nilly. It's okay to go willy nilly, of course, if that's the decision that you make. But realize that there is a more organized way of doing something, which will get you probably a little bit better results, or at least a more efficient production. Since I've been doing this so long, I kind of know how to avoid certain traps down the road. So anyway, but at least I'm trying to share all this with you so that you have some idea of what's going to work or what works best for you. Okay. All right. So and then once you're done with your animation or you're putting all this together, then you can export. So you can come over here and export your film, and when you export it, then you're going to get on your desktop a finished version of this, so that it'll all be done, and everything will be um, in one place. Also, later on, I'm going to add sound down here. So this will have a layer where I'll put a soundtrack. The soundtrack that I'm going to do for this, I haven't decided on that yet either. I'm thinking of doing a narration, which I may do myself, or I may hire someone else to create a narration to do this. The way that I intend to do that is I'm going to do something we call in the industry looping. And what looping is if you've already you make your film, but then you have someone come and put a soundtrack on it based on how they see it. It's kind of the same principle of composing music for a movie. A lot of times, what will happen was with a film, the composer, or shall I say, the person who's doing well, yeah, the composer is doing the music. They'll show the film up on a screen, and then they'll have the musicians play. In a sense, are really to kind of match up to the picture. And you can do the same thing with narration, some dialogue actually. Japanese animators do this. I notice a lot of most of Japanese animation or anime, as we're familiar with it here in this country. That's how it's done. The dialogue is done after the animation is done. So the animators just have the character's mouth move, and then the actors will come in and match up their speech to what they're seeing on a screen in front of them. That's a rudimentary way of calling that. What it is we call it looping, ADR. You're adding the sound after the fact. So it's a little more organic, but it works fine. You know, it takes sometimes a few takes to get it right, but it's animating, putting the dialogue to the picture instead of the picture to the dialogue. Normally, sound is done first, and then the animation is done after to match it. That's the way we do it here in America, generally speaking. Okay, all right. Well, that's it for today. We'll start a new scene tomorrow once I figure out what that scene is. Okay, so have a beautiful day, folks. Thank God for your gifts and talents. I'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget, once again, Jesus is Lord.